Hi, my name is Bexer, but I'll go by the name Bex, and this is the second time I recorded the audio for this video because I screwed up the first time. But this is a build that's based on a Pinterest floor plan and photo that I'm going to post like in the end, and it's also the thumbnail. So if you want to go back and check the thumbnail, do that. Maybe I'll post it just in the beginning, just to like preempt this video. I don't know. Let's see what I've done. Like I'm surprised myself. I never know what's going on. Never actually, truly, never know what's going on. But I saw this picture on Pinterest. I have this huge board of houses that I want to build, or that have elements of it that I want to replicate in a build. So I saw this video and was like, yeah, that looks interesting. That looks like something that would translate well into The Sims, and voila, it did. And this house had a very, like, with the front staircase, they had a very elongated staircase. You couldn't use the staircase that The Sims have, like it could, but it wouldn't look accurate, it wouldn't look the same. And this, I love platforms just for this reason. Just for this reason. No, there are several reasons, but for being able to build staircases like this, amazing. I am in awe of this platform tool. Like, how did we survive without it? I know this was something that people asked for quite a few years before it came out, but I am so thankful it's out right now because it truly made this house pop and not look too flat, and it made it look more dynamic because it's a fairly open plan house. So being able to use the platform tool to make it look more interesting is good. Okay, as you can see, I struggled quite a bit with the staircase. I wanted it to be a double staircase, but it didn't look right. It was too big with, like, the double staircase, so I had to go with the singular one. I wish there was something in between because it's either tiny or it's massive, and there's no in between, and I just wanted something in between. I am Swedish. I love lagom. So, lagom. Google that if you don't know what it is, or I will just put a meaning for it here. Or here, sorry. Magic. So, but platform tool. Yes. Yes. That's what I had to say about it. Yes. It just makes, I've seen, like, there's a lot of things that people do, and there's things that I still want to do with it. Like, it just, like the bedrooms where the raised bed and everything like that, where the bed is on the raised platforms and similar. Like, there's a lot of things that I still want to do and I just haven't done because I haven't found the right build to do it in. Maybe soon I will find one to do it in. But I truly love the platform tool. Like, this build is like a love letter to the platform tool. No, it's not, because I don't use it that much. But this is something, like, that part of the build where I've raised it up, the platform bit, I have no idea what they actually intended that part of the build to be, because it doesn't show up on the floor plan from what I remember. It just looked weird. It's possibly that that was an enclosed space that stored, things like wires and plumbing. I don't know. I don't know how that works. But we don't have that in The Sims, so I had to make use of it some way, and I felt like having a raised platform where you could place flower pots. Wow. I'm really incredible at remembering words. Like, for what I'm studying and for what I've worked with, I am amazing at words. Like, that's my job. My job. Like, that's what I do, words. But still, no. Words, no. So this house, as you saw, has a laundry room downstairs just by the kitchen. If that's not something that you want, you can add another bathroom or something. I think I actually enjoy having laundry rooms quite a bit in the builds, and I especially enjoy it when I'm building them because it adds another dynamic to the house and makes it look more realistic. But I do know that in gameplay that can get quite annoying depending on what type of gameplay you are playing with. But I always try to place a laundry room in the house just because I feel like that's I want a laundry room in my house. I don't have a laundry machine. I have to go up outside where it's snowing now on the 11th of March. I was going to say October, but it's March. It's snowing in March. So I have to go outside and I have to book a time, and yeah, that's too much for my brain. That's too much. So instead I'm going to haul my laundry to my parents and do it there. I'm going to do it, but parents' house, the laundry room. Yeah, so I really want a laundry room myself, so that maybe that's why I'm placing it everywhere, because I am jealous and I want it so bad. So that's like kind of like my ideal house, having a laundry room in the house. And I know pretty much all houses have them, but still my ideal house has a laundry room. That is top tier quality, that's top tier house. I want it. I've been trying to problem solve ways to get a laundry or a laundry machine in my house, but it's I know how to do it, but I just don't want to do it. It's too much. It's so much work. So I try to have different in this house, have different personalities for the people living in there. We have this office that you can convert into a bedroom if you want to. But I always feel like an office, especially with a computer, is very important to have in a Sims house, especially computer, because you know everything is done on computer, both in the Sims and in the real world. um, so, but that we have the arty kid and we have the bookworm kid. So the arty kid is probably a teenager. That is in my head, that she's a teenager or he's a teenager who loves art and just very experimenting with everything that's to do with art, and maybe a gamer as well, because that laptop looks like a gamer laptop. And then we have the younger kid, the younger brother or sister, who is very much a bookworm, who is very academic, and you can see with books and everything lying around in that place. So that's how I envision the people living there. And then we have the parents, who are pretty devoid of personalities, not for because I thought about that, but they're very fancy. They're very fancy people. That's my see. So they're fancy, they're rich, they love things that look good, look clean, and everything like that. Maybe they're very cleanly people. Maybe they are materialistic. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe they have a maid that comes and cleans and everything every day. There's a lot of maybes here, but these new things like that 21st anniversary table and chairs. Thank you, CC gods. They are generally CC gods. Like that's what I'm saying. They're CC god. Like that table and chair. Yes, it's amazing. I love it. It's the best thing that Sims has brought to the table. Maybe it's the best thing they brought to the table. The best table they have brought. Oh, I'm so funny. But when I build, I generally tend to build very cluttered things lately, because I love when things look lived in and there's things everywhere. I love especially taking pictures of them, because it just looks fun. But in this house, because it's very open planned, it just didn't feel right to have all that clutter, because clutter in open plan just looks weird. It just doesn't suit the vibe with it, because with an open plan you kind of have to be very mindful of everything that you place down, and everything has to go together, yada yada yada. I have an open plan, like everything is the same in the same room except the kitchen and the bathroom. But anyway, so you have to have like an idea in mind of everything kind of going together in different ways. So yeah, that's why I didn't do clutter in this house, and also because I didn't really feel that it made sense with the characters that I built for this house, or I created in my mind for this house. What you do when you get into the house is like do you, but that's what I felt with this entire thing, that it just didn't make sense to make a lot of clutter. And yeah, this garage, I was contemplating if I should make it an actual garage or what I should do with it. Generally when I download houses that has a garage, I just like push it away and just do something else with it, make the space for something that I need. But in this house I felt like, okay, we will have a car, but then also have these exercise equipment, because they're fairly rich. I feel like they're rich enough that they should have a gym at home. Where better to have a gym than in the garage? Maybe there should be a second car somewhere outside, maybe, but no. Apparently, I didn't do that. Maybe I don't think that well what I'm building. I'm just like, what makes sense right now? What makes sense right now? What fits right now? And I'm very like, square-minded. Well, I was going to say square-minded, but I don't actually know if that's a phrase. But that's a phrase that I coin if it's not square-minded. I think in a square. But I had so much fun building this. Like, honestly, it was one of the funnest time I've had building in the longest time. Looking at this floor plan and creating everything from it, and solving these obstacles that created with it, like things that you can't really do in The Sims. So you have to do something different or something similar. You have to use different items that aren't really what they're intended to be, or you just like double place certain items, as I do with the columns. I place 2 columns in one because to make it look like it does in the picture with the different height columns. It's very strange, but it works. And I would never have thought of that on my own. Like, it looks good, and that's one of the things that makes it look so good in The Sims as well, is because it has these different aspects. It looks dynamic, and in The Sims you really can't do anything that isn't dynamic. It doesn't have like things protruding or intruding, because it just looks flat, and flat in The Sims, it ends up having no sort of character at all. It just looks flat. And in real life, you can get away with. I'm looking out of the window at the building across from me that is completely flat, and that works in real life because we see textures differently. Textures render differently. I don't know why I'm saying render, but they render differently with our eyes and everything like that. We see it differently. But in The Sims, everything is more cartoonish, so flat just doesn't work. And also maybe because of the windows that we have that aren't really the best. Maybe it's better now that we have free placing windows. But the back of the house is like my dream back of the house. I wish I could have the back of the house look like that because it's excellent. I want to have a swimming pool. Like, I don't want to take care of a swimming pool, but I do like a swimming pool because I love swimming. I just don't like being around people. And that has not gone better with COVID. It's worse. It's just, I googled social anxiety because I have that. I have social anxiety, social phobia, whatever you call it. And apparently I'm not alone with that getting worse during COVID times. I don't want to go out. I don't want to see people because people scare me. I like looking out. I like the idea of going out, but going to the grocery store, no. But yeah, we're reaching the end of this video, and honestly, the only thing I have to say here is that this building was so much fun to build, and I'm definitely going to be going through Pinterest and just building all the houses. I have another huge mansion that I'm building right now, and another smaller one that is a bit so-so, but it's still a build, and it's more price appropriate than this house is. This house is truly a rich man's house, but I love it. I want to live in it. I don't tend to have houses that I want to live in. I don't want to really live in a house, but this house. But anyway, thank you for watching. Bye!